Hey, welcome back. Eric Arnold here, an episode of the Sports Barn, and we're in our secondary studio in the wee hours of Sunday, the 9th of January. It's super cold outside, and I just figured it'd be just easier to shoot here in the secondary studio, so that's what we're going to do. This episode we're going to have handful of NFL picks for you for Sunday the 9th, last week of the season as we head into the playoffs. I haven't done much NFL at all this year. It's just so many hours in the day, and that's a sport that I just haven't gotten to this year. But also then got the winner of the championship game, the college championship game, which should be a classic Monday. Today's Sunday. So tomorrow, Monday, in Indianapolis between Alabama and Georgia. So appreciate all yous that have stopped by for the recent political videos. Thanks for watching those. As we, Joe Rogan interviewed Dr. Robert Malone. Very important interview if you've missed that. Where Dr. Malone is getting into some pretty important topics. I was going to say controversial, but the only reason it's controversial is because big tech runs around and censors it. It's nothing controversial about it. Dr. Malone's an esteemed professor or doctor, and he questions how this entire thing's been handled, but we're not allowed to question that shit, right? Okay, so enough of that. We're here to talk sports. So you political people are going, oh, let's talk virus. Not this episode, sorry. There'll be more. There'll be others. So what's going on in the sports world? So I guess, the NFL is heading into the playoffs now, and I promised Colonel Peter C. we would do an NFL episode or two. If you recall, at the beginning of the season, I picked the Buccaneers to repeat as NFC champions, and they would face the Tennessee Titans in the Super Bowl. It seems like we're on the right track in that Tennessee has the inside track to the number one seed. In the AFC, the Buccaneers are the 2 seed behind the Green Bay Packers. We'll see. I'm not married to those preseason picks. We'll just have to see how the matchups go as we get into the playoffs, who the winners or who we predict the winners are going to be. Little disappointed tonight that the Eagles played all their backups against the goddamn Dallas Cowboys. I mean, of all the teams to lay down for, the damn Dallas Cowboys. God. I mean, I know it didn't mean anything, and we're going to be healthy going into the playoffs, but it's the goddamn Cowboys, You don't lay down for the Cowboys. But they didn't ask me, so I'm a little sad tonight about that. Well, anyway, here, let's get to tomorrow. I glanced at the lineup, and, it's... You try to find meaningful games, right? Half these games don't mean anything now. There's only a fraction of them. Like the game tonight. How do you handicap it? You didn't even know who was going to play till like 12 hours before kickoff. So we'll try to stick to games where I know that at least one side is going to be playing a real game and isn't going to be benching guys and hiding guys and any of the rest of this nonsense. So I think we got a pretty good look at 3 of these games. We got the Titans-Texans. All the Titans got to do is win this damn game. That's all they got to do, win the game. And, then they're the number 1 seed. I don't think we'll make this too complicated. I think this number's too low. The Titans should be a much bigger favorite than 10 points. The Texans played a pretty good game against the 49ers last week. I was subjected to that game. I don't have the red zone. I don't have the package. Whatever game the local affiliate puts on, that's what I got to watch. So, they had the 49ers on for some damn reason. And so we sat and we watched. I actually think it was on because the Eagles needed the 49ers to win to lock the Eagles in. So I guess we were rooting for the 49ers. And my gut was their quarterback's not good. Trey Lance, I did not think he was very good at all. The Niners defense, pretty good. Niners are pretty good up and down the board, but that quarterback didn't think he was very good at all. And they still, the Texans were hanging with them, but then they still ended up beating them by 16 points. I think the Texans played about as well as they could against a pretty crummy quarterback, and they still lost by 16 points. So I don't think this is a mismatch. It's just a mismatch. You got the Titans lost already this year to the Texans, and the reason they lost is they just kicked the ball all over the field. They outgained them 2-1 as far as yards go, and they're likely to do that again. It was just a fluke that they lost the first time around. I don't see the Texans giving the Titans a game. The Titans need this game. I mean, this is it. I mean, your chances of going to the Super Bowl with a bye and without a bye, it's a huge difference. It's the percentages are like, you probably got 50-50 chance with the bye and probably 10% without. You're completely blowing your chance, and they're just too good a team to do that. I think the Titans are going to pretty easily win this game, so we'll take them. Saints Falcons, I guess the way this works is the Saints are hoping that the Rams beat the 49ers. And the Rams are favored, I believe, by 4 points to do just that. The Rams kind of sort of have to win that game to lock up the division, whereas the 49ers got to win this game to make the playoffs. So I couldn't make heads or tails out of that when I left it alone. But I do think I have a good read here. The Saints, I think, will take care of business against the Falcons. Just have that feel that they're, they lost already once this year to the Falcons. I think they're going to get their payback. I think the running kid is he from BYU, Taysom Hill? I think he's going to quarterback, and I've always thought you get hidden value with that guy. I saw a stat that he was like the worst quarterback in the history of the world, but then he wins every start. It's like, perfect. That's the kind of guy I want, where everybody thinks he sucks, but all he does is win. Then you're getting hidden value there. That's perfect. So we'll take the Saints. And then this last game I love. This is the kind of game where back in the day when I called it the plan, where I would bet $20,000 a game, primarily on the NFL and occasionally on the NBA. If I found a game I like, boom, 20 grand. And that's what I would bet. And this would be a game where it would be a best bet. I would bet 20 grand on the Raiders because the Raiders are at home. They're an underdog, and they've got that revenge factor. In other words, they lost earlier in the year to the Chargers. So you got the home dog revenge thing going. That was one of the things I hung my hat on in the days of the plan. And it worked. I mean, it did work. The plan didn't go belly up because of that. It went belly up because of other factors, but we won't get into that here. So, what are we doing here? We're taking the Chargers because I finally figured out the secret to the Raiders. I could never get the Raiders right. And then I just realized, just do the opposite with the Raiders. They're a Costanza team. They're like George Costanza. Just do the opposite. It's always wrong. Every time I play the Raiders, it's wrong because the Raiders just aren't motivated like normal teams. It's not a normal team. If you think that they are going to play well, they're in a good spot emotionally, that 31 other teams would jump on that situation and play well, the Raiders would play poorly, and vice versa. So that's where I'm thinking this should be a spot that the Raiders come out with their hair on fire and they win this game to make the playoffs. That's all they got to do is win this game, and they're in the playoffs. We'll take the Chargers. We'll take the Chargers. Absolutely. I like that game pretty well. Chargers will find a way to get past the Raiders, who ultimately, well, at the end of the day, they're the Raiders. They'll find a way to screw it up. They're going to honor John Madden by making the playoffs. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. So those are now, we haven't followed the NFL all year. So, and our record, I think, is actually below 500. I think it's like 5 winners, 7 losers in the NFL this year. Not following it, so I'm not too embarrassed about that. All right, college football. Let's get to the big enchilada. Now, I forgot to look up our bowl record, but our record overall for the year, 180 winners, 147 losers. That's 55%. I'm rapidly starting to think I'm the best free handicapper on the internet. I'm almost going to start talking smack just to, I don't know, pump up the numbers or try to build, viewership or something. I said that in another video. If you know someone's got a better record with the volume of picks that I'm putting out there, put it in the comments section because I want to tail that guy. So just saying, 180 winners, 147 losers. What is that? That's got to be 15, 20 units to the good there, and 55%. Just saying. So this championship game, I mean, you got Georgia and Alabama up in Indianapolis. I figure this is the most Southerners that have been north of the Mason-Dixon line since, Lee invaded Pennsylvania, probably. So, luckily for them, it's in a dome. That would be kind of funny if they had to play outside. The score would probably be 0-0 if the Southern teams actually had to play outside in the cold weather. But they never do, and they won't here. So who's the winner, Alabama just owns Georgia. They just own them. And, we've always talked about the falling knife theory in the sports barn that, if a team can't beat another team, are you going to try to time that falling knife and grab it right at the bottom at that time that they're going to beat them? I don't know. That's not wise. But, then on the other hand, sometimes the teams just do. And that's kind of what we're thinking with Georgia. We did tell you that Alabama would cover the initial game against Georgia in the semifinal. That basically, when push came to shove, one team would be ripping their guts out, and the other team, when it comes to rip your guts out time, would be going, I'm in. No matter what I do now, they're going to put me in. So I don't really, and that's what happened. Georgia just could not match Alabama's intensity or chose not to. Alabama won. That's how we're looking at it. That Georgia kind of gave away that first game. Georgia should have beat these guys a few years ago in the championship game and let it slip away. We think Georgia's every bit as good as Alabama, and just for whatever reason, they just have not been able to put it together yet. I mean, they had them in that championship game a few years ago, let them off the hook. They gave the semifinal game away just because they didn't feel like ripping their guts out. And now here's Alabama, and they still haven't stuck a knife in them and finished them. This is their chance. If they don't beat them here, they may never beat them. But I think it's their time. I think they're going to win the battle at the line of scrimmage. That Georgia's defense is going to hold down Alabama's running attack and force them to throw. And they'll be much more one-dimensional than Georgia will. That's the theory. We're getting less than 3 points. We only have to lay 2.5 here. I think Georgia's going to get their vengeance. I think it's just time. It's time. Kirby Smart is a really good coach. I think it's just time. So that's what we're going to play it. We're going to tell you Georgia's going to beat Alabama and cover the number. That would put me at 55% for the whole season, and that's what we're hoping for. We lose this game, we're just that much below 55%, and that would, then I'd have to round it up, and that would not be cool. So we're really pulling for the Bulldogs. Plus, we're sick of Alabama. We're sick of these guys. This isn't Alabama's best team. I mean, if Alabama can win the national championship with not their best team, I don't know. Maybe we should just you kick them out, throw them away. You guys don't get to play anymore. We send you to Belize or something. You can play by yourself. We retire the title and they go to a different league or something. I don't know. So we're picking Georgia. We're rooting for Georgia. That's how it is. That's it. That's all we got for you. Oh, now college basketball. Here's the good news on that. I think we're dialed in on that. I think we've got about 225 practice picks in the can. We're hitting around 55% there. We think we're dialed in there. I don't know how we're getting the picks to you. Haven't figured that out yet. Probably not via these videos, just because, videos take too much time and, just so many hours in the day. So I've been looking at a couple things, maybe Twitter, maybe. There's a website called BetStamp. And some kind of, the odds are there, plus then people make their picks. So that might be a place I could put the picks, and you could log in there and say, oh, what's Big E doing today? Did he have any picks? And then you can see him there. So we're thinking maybe there, possibly. I'll let you know. There will be an occasional video with college basketball picks, but like I said, it's just me reading off names. Very rarely do I have a whole lot of rationale for some of these games other than the model likes the game. Like, for example, I think I played Friday night Albany at New Hampshire. I don't know one player on either team, but, we played Albany at New Hampshire. I can't talk to you more about that game than what I just told you. I don't know anything other than the model likes the game. So, at any rate, so that's what we got for you. Hey, hit the like button. That always makes me feel good. If you're looking for winners, you can go ahead and subscribe. As I said, you find me a better free handicapper on the internet giving you free picks. Been giving you these free picks that have been winning since what? When was the baseball season started? April of 2021. We're piling up a pretty good record here. So you know somebody better, put it in the comments so I can tail that guy. Hey, I'm Eric Arnold. I believe in winning picks and free speech, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.